Oh, we are live. We got a special guest with us, Mr. Matt Locke in the building. Cash has been back for, well, I don't know, and long enough where he's no longer special. So there's that. So
I wasn't special to begin with.
Yes, you were. With that height, you are special.
Let me tell you something.
Special.
If I was so special, then I would have got the damn thank you for reminding you about your damn grill instead of Casey. Because it wasn't Casey that reminded you, it was me. And you got up from the chair and you went and said, "Oh, thank you, Casey." And then fucking.
What's funny though is I actually did not hear you say it because my internet cut out. But anyways, before we get, I want to talk about our group text, Cash. Before we get into it, Matt, introduce yourself for those that somehow don't know who you are, even though you've been on the show plenty of times. Who are you, Matt?
I'm Matt Locke, host of the Voice of the Working Man, a podcast. You can find me over at VOTWM.com. Listen to the program. I write. I don't sing. I talk. Pretty good looking, I guess.
I was going to say you definitely don't model. We know that.
No.
Hey, you're a hater. Leave my Indiana Who's Your Brother alone.
That's right. I'm growing it out. I'm starting to look like Santa Claus.
You are a little bit. So we were airing some dirty laundry before the show started because I've been late a lot lately. I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. We are going to have some really good topics today, which we'll get into in a second. But Cash, I sent you a message with Abraham Washington because you were talking about wrestling because your show on Sunday was hilarious. And you were talking about how you're a huge WWE fan. And I talked about how one of the main speakers this week in the top 10 that I worked with or that I met and hung out with was Abraham Washington, a.k.a. his real name, Brian Josie. You're scrolling through to find it. You're not going to find it right now. So anyways, do you remember Abraham Washington?
What was that?
Do you remember Abraham Washington?
No, who's that? Was he related to George Washington and Abraham Lincoln?
It is Abraham Washington, right? Abraham.
Oh,
right. He was big in 2009 to 2012. He was the one that got canceled for making a Kobe Bryant joke, which was complete BS because John Cena made it a couple weeks before that.
It is Abraham Washington. It's this individual. I didn't even know who this guy is.
What was his nickname? I don't even know who that is. Who is he?
That is his nickname.
Shorty.
Anyways,
no one knows him.
Well, I do, and he was awesome.
No one knows him.
He was a great speaker. He should have won. He also had biceps that were so ridiculously enormous. I can't even talk about it. Anyways, show today, Chris. I don't even know. I think it's Chris Keuhne. Chris Keuhne. Do you know? Matt?
Keuhne.
You're
Keuhne,
racist, bro.
I think it's Keuhne. I think it's Keuhne.
Chris Keuhne, the raid of his house that just happened because he participated in January 6th. We're going to talk more about the New York state ruling against Donald Trump because it's like this should be the thing that wakes people up to what's going on, yet people are still going fraud. We're talking about Nikki Haley getting demolished in her own state, still sticking around, and then Cam Newton. I've got a couple different sides of this story. Last but not least, Michigan primary. And you know what? We do have trolls, and we're going to go ahead and answer said troll, and we are going to talk about the Hunter Biden probe. Potential Russian.
Time out.
What? Yes.
Time out. William Light is not a troll. He is actually a loyal. He is a loyal viewer, and he gives his opinion. He's not a troll. He just likes to provoke thought.
Provocateur.
Leave William Light alone. William Light, I like you, bro. I like you being here, William Light.
Provocateur. Yeah, the great thing is one of the things from Grant Cardone this last week is a phrase that I use in terms of William Light, which is without haters, nobody would know who Jesus was. So I think that's a perfect way to lead in. Facts on facts.
Mike Drop.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 170.
Episode of Truth.
Anyways, we got a lot to talk about on this episode. You jackwagon, Cam Newton, Chris Keuhne, raid, Keuhne, whatever. New York State ruling, never Nikki, all the different things. I just got to give a quick shout out to Audrey. If you're still here, which I believe you are, the cookies have been finished. I met Audrey in Florida. We had lunch, and she gave me these delicious, I call them New Jersey cookies. She calls them New York cookies. Some people call it former President Donald Trump. Some people call it sitting President Donald Trump. Anyways, that's a Steven Crowder line. But anyways, they're finally finished. They're finally gone. They were amazing. Kelly finished the last two without telling me, so all I got was some sprinkle crumbs because Kelly loves to finish the end of whatever. I'm not going to talk about Kelly right now. All right.
Everything wrong, Rico.
What's
Why?
that?
Why?
Why what?
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it all wrong.
What'd I do wrong?
Welcome, everybody, to this episode of Truth. If you could do us a favor right now, and please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you already haven't done that. And if you could, please ring that bell so you never miss another episode and share this video out for your boy. Mic drop.
Wow. It's pretty good.
He's pretty good.
He's done that before.
Yeah. Casey, what's going on in your world?
I don't know. Just trying to keep you on task. Like, we didn't even get to talk about the stuff we needed to pre-show because you were worried about a grill. I don't know what we're doing anymore.
That's life.
Roll with it.
Real quick,
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's been the whole day today, not knowing what the hell is going on. That's it. It's been my whole day. We're not gonna get into that right now. It's a personal conversation for later. I need to talk.
It's a fact.
Need the hug.
Yeah, or a big hug. Real quick, guys, go ahead and check out. We're all rocking merch for ours, but we'll talk about Matt's in a second. We've got our stuff at awakenotwokestore.com. The discount code for Cash is still there. 20% off everything in the store except for Cash-specific Streetlight merchandise. His return, all those are full price, and all of that goes to Cash. The rest of it, you get 20% off with the Cash discount. So go ahead and check it out. I've got the Pure Blood hat. I think we're almost out of Awake Not Woke hats. What do you have left, Casey? You got like 2 or 3 left?
Yeah, not many.
Not many hats left. Okay, so there's that. Last but not least, I'm a dipstick, and I forgot to actually get the Jot form. I'm sure if Amanda or them are watching, go ahead and put the Jot form in. We are going to have we're going to be doing our post-show Zooms for those that want to jump in on the American products bandwagon. Just in the world of smaxiganations and pharmaceuticals and all this, I found it interesting that somebody actually started they put in the comments about how these products might be not listed very high because on the EMG, whatever, it was some rating system that said that they're bad. So I went to it and it lists Clorox as A+. So it tells you that it is a pay-to-play game, but the products that we're using, really good for the health and all that stuff. But we'll talk more about it later. Go ahead, the Jot form, I'll throw it in the comment box. Oh, Amanda, you're right there. Amanda, can you put the Jot form in?
I'm just going to go grab it right now.
Okay. Anyways.
You know what? You're a piece of work, bro.
Why are you so mad at me today?
Because, first off, you insulted dipsticks by calling yourself one. Number 2, you did not acknowledge the fact that I'm the one that told you to go and get the grill. Going to use the fact. And then you messed up the guy's name on purpose and called him Eric Keuhne or whatever the hell you said. I know that was a dig. It was on purpose.
No, Eric Keuhne. So here's the thing. I had a girl that went to my high school with the last name spelled the same way. And it was what was her name? It was Ann Keuhne. Ann Keuhne. I don't know. I have really no idea. We've completely lost our way on this one.
Let's go. Keep it going. Kick the tires, light the fires.
Turn and burn. God, Cash is moody. So let me be clear. Cash was almost not going to do the show today. Cash called me 30 minutes ago. He's like, "Do we have a show?" I was like, "Do we never not have a show on Tuesday nights?"
I asked if I can miss it. Okay, I got a lot going on in life. This happiness that you see right here. See this? It's a facade. I'm faking right now. My life is in shambles. Yes.
Faking like when you spit on the back and say you're finished.
It's his Instagram profile here. That's what you're seeing. It's fake.
Yeah, it's fake.
It's not real life.
Now you see me, now you don't. Hey, Matt, tell everybody about your Patriot propaganda as well before we get started.
PatriotPropagandaApparel.com or PPA.WTF. Go get your fantastic shirts. Got some new hats up there today, thanks to the one Casey Rasmussen. He's fast. And they're fantastic.
Absolute tech genius.
He helped me with my blog site. So I'm writing now, over at VOTWM.com, Voice of the Working Man. And he helped me with that. And he's like, oh, I'll fix it. It took him 3 minutes.
Yeah.
2 hours to put that website up. Took him.
Can't find the G spot, but he's really, really great at fixing websites.
Well, he's got a little head. We were talking about hats earlier. He's got a little head. It's hard to find the G spot with a little hat head.
Oh man! All right, let's get into some details. Let's start with the lighter subject first. Let's start with Cam Newton. I think most people have probably seen the fight. I actually thought the fight was from 2015. It was last Sunday, wasn't it?
Yes,
it was very recent. Yeah,
well, I don't know why a lot of the articles were talking. I guess it happened also in 2015.
Yes, while he was playing football.
Cam Newton got in a fight.
Yeah.
Cam Newton got a fight with some parents, and I, as somebody that knows Matt Leinart, I watched his thing. I watched a couple, but then I started weighing it all in, and I've never been a fan of Cam Newton's character per se, but it did seem like the parents attacked him. But I did learn some more afterwards. Before I get a little more onto my side, what is Matt? What's your opinion on it?
Be a lover, not a fighter. I mean, Cam Newton's kind of crazy. Like you're talking about back in 2015, the dude likes fighting his teammates. The guy's got a weird personality. Now, I've seen it too. I could take it from both sides. The parents look like they attacked him. I mean, I think he enjoyed it. He's a big man and he's a former athlete. So I don't know if I would go down that road. That's my opinion.
Casey?
Cam Newton's a beta, and Cam Newton has
beta.
And he has CTE, and that is the reason why he behaves the way he does. Just like Antonio Brown, just like Chad Johnson, just like all of these other people that have problems in the NFL and they can't control themselves.
Did Antonio Brown just sue himself last week? Did I read that right?
You did. You read that correctly.
Antonio Brown sued him. Anyways, he sued his other name. So before Cash goes, so when I saw it and I saw Matt Leinart sticking up for Cam Newton, and the way that it was, the parents came up the stairs. Next thing you know, it was a huge fight, and Cam Newton essentially beat the crap out of all of them. And finally it got separated and they all had to go home. So it turns out this had been brewing all weekend, and Cam Newton was just berating some of the other coaches, some of the other parents, and just talking shit. And actually his team was losing, but then he was trying to put money on the game. No offense. I'm going to say something that might get called out. He was doing some hood shit and saying, I'll bet you. And they're like, we're not betting. You've lost every game and now you want to bet. And then they weren't even the team he was playing. He just started kind of mouthing to a point where it got to be too much. The parent, the 5'9" guy that attacked, said he was stupid. He shouldn't have done it. But he goes, I finally just lost my cool on the whole situation. And the other coaches that are part of this, what's supposed to be a kids organization 7-on-7 to help these kids, was like, this is just what Cam does and it's not okay anymore. And it's supposed to be about the kids and not about Cam Newton's ego. So at first I turned the corner and was like, maybe Cam's getting unfairly treated. And now I'm like, Cam it goes both ways. It's just BS is what it is. Cash?
I got two things. Two things. Number one, did he win?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Cam Newton won what?
The fight.
Yeah.
No, how did he win?
How would you say he didn't win? I know, but I mean, he got the better of it.
The guy was not laying on the ground. I do not say he won.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to take back my time. Mr. Chairman, I would like to take back my C-SPAN. All right. Anyway, Cam Newton is not a beta. Cam Newton was a kid that got put into a position where he got taken out the hood, you know what I'm saying? And he got big in football. Didn't have the best career. He had some problems, Could have been a star. He had all the potential in the world. But that money just does something to you. Ego gets in the way. And that's all that's going on with Cam. He just got an ego problem, man. That's all. Look at that nice jacket he's wearing. I would never wear the scarf. He looks like Mr. Slade from South Park. I wouldn't wear that. But
no.
But got to just understand, man. He's a human. He made a mistake. He beat some people up. All right? He's done. He's trying to stay relevant. What better way to stay relevant than beat up some parents?
Well, I hope he has better people managing his money than himself. Just say it, because he's got a lot of money.
No.
He made multiple millions of dollars playing NFL football because he was a good physical quarterback, but probably not all.
Yes.
He was really good.
Exactly.
But until he came to play my team in the Super Bowl. So that's all.
Oh, here we go. Your team.
Well, Cam is done. That's all we can say that, especially after this. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's just all the way out. He's out the frame now. Hopefully he manages his money good and has a good life and maybe invest something, because now he's done. It's over. Just over. That's it.
I don't know. He 2 minutes granted, Cash. The thing, I mean, the thing is, I don't think he's a beta. I think he's got some head problems, and ultimately, it's just, white supremacy is not the issue. It's like,
No.
this is what I mean.
What?
Is someone really
It's
saying
white
that is a
Christian
thing?
nationalists. That's what it is. Christian nationalists.
Wait, were the parents white?
Yeah, that's what I'm
They
trying.
beat up?
Everybody was black.
Well,
Everyone was black.
No,
Yes.
there was a white guy in there. Wasn't there a
Oh,
white
the
guy in
white
there?
guy
What?
trying to break up the fight.
Oh, the white guy was breaking up the fight. My bad.
There wouldn't be no
The
black on
peacekeeper.
black violence in the world right now if it wasn't for white supremacy. Let's just throw that out
That's
there right
right. Damn
God.
us.
I saw a Hawk Newsom
now.
post.
Oh, sarcasm.
I saw a Hawk Newsom post the other day that was like, the first part was like he was like, we need to go to Jackson, Mississippi and, rid the, like get our communities back and stop all the fighting and all the crime. I'm like, yeah, Hawk. Yeah. Point number 2 was like, this is what happens when you live in an oppressive system run by white supremacists. I'm like, so the black on the and the all the it's because noted.
Yes.
All right, got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, let's go ahead. I'm trying to look more into the Chris Keuhne situation now. So
Yeah, I
it's
know what you wanted to say.
Obstruction of justice. He was arrested for obstruction of justice at J6. That's it. And so that deserves a raid, right? That deserves the FBI breaking into your house with AR-15s drawn. Come on.
So question, was this so the video that just went viral this last week, was that recent or was that back in 2021?
Recent. It's just last week.
Yes.
I don't understand because he was already sentenced to his time.
Yeah.
He was sentenced in the past. It is what I'm reading.
Yeah.
There's reports that
So,
they're going actually back through the book and re-bringing charges on people that have already been charged.
Yes.
So that's the key to this. So
Terrifying.
Obstruction of law
That's fucking
enforcement they're
terrifying,
now
bro.
charging him with. Not just trespassing, not just being there, but he obstructed law enforcement. So you have to go in and take this dude down. Plus, by the way, Oath Keepers. You're throwing out the main thing of the story. He's part of the Oath Keepers group. So I think there's a vendetta there.
is he Oath Keeper or Proud Boy? Because so this is what I'm
I
reading.
thought it was Oath Keeper, but it could be Proud Boy.
Okay, so a former Kansas City area Proud Boy. By the way, he's 50 years old. Former Kansas City area Proud Boy and Marine Corps combat veteran was accused of conspiring with others to breach Capitol January 6th, sentenced Friday to 75 days. I'm so confused by all this because this article is 4 days ago, and then they're also he received 24 months of supervised release.
Yep.
Must pay $2,000. I don't. They're saying $2.9 million in damage, which Cash and I had talked about that when he got locked away. He said that might have been possible just because some of it was priceless pieces of art that maybe got a little bit of whatever on them. So 5 years ago, but I'm confused. He had already been sentenced to this in the past 3 years ago, and now they've re-rated his home. Do we not know what his possible ramifications are now?
Not yet. They haven't come up with the new charges for court, but Casey said it. So they're going back through and recharging people with other crimes. When you
That's
get
scary
close
as
to the
shit,
cheese, the government has to get you off the cheese.
So I want to bring something up. So the girl, and I know Matt, you're a wicked genius with names. The girl that got murdered by the illegal immigrant this last week,
Laken Riley.
Laken Riley.
Yeah.
She was killed by an illegal immigrant that not only was caught crossing the border and released, but he also had an aggravated charge where he was doing something to a minor.
We had his child on the back of his little scooter in New York as a delivery service,
Yeah.
and he got charged for having no helmet.
So he was arrested doing that as an illegal immigrant and was released.
Well, him and his brother were arrested a month ago for shoplifting food and merchandise in Georgia as well.
So 2 strikes against him, and he ended up getting out to murder somebody. Meanwhile, we had somebody that walked in the Capitol that was a combat veteran, Marine Corps, all the things, 50 years old, that's already did time, and now 3 years later, they're coming back and rearresting. This, even to the William Lights of the world, should be completely terrifying.
Oh, it should be terrifying for, I mean, illegals, but think about it. You can go back to Molly Tibbetts. You can go back to Kate Steinle. We've been having American citizens killed by illegal aliens for years. The government doesn't give a shit. Oh, I mean, sorry.
You can say shit on our show.
Okay, I don't, it's not my show. I cuss all the time, so I don't want to get in trouble here.
Yeah, you're good.
The government isn't here for you, by the way. And the government doesn't care about you. All they need is the replacement theory because they need your vote because you're getting in tune with what they're doing. So we got to bring in aliens and illegals to vote for you. Who it doesn't matter who they kill.
So how do you guys? Because this is one of the hardest questions people ask, and there was a flurry of comments on some of my recent posts. When it comes to the issue of illegal immigrants, I mean, there's an easy answer, but there's got to be even a better answer. The crime level of illegal immigrants is lower per capita than the general population. My simple answer is, how do you really know how many the undocumented immigrants there are? Because it starts with the word undocumented, but you're kind of making that up. So how do you answer the question? People go, because CNN posted this years ago and they still bring it back in our face. How do you answer the question that illegal immigrants commit less crime, undocumented immigrants commit less crime than regular individuals? How do you answer that? Anybody?
It's BS.
Well, there's really not an answer. I mean, are they accounting for all the mutilated cows and crop circles and people's crops getting destroyed and all of that?
No, and that's kind of what I've said as well. As we don't really know how a lot. So look at
who the fuck's doing it.
In all communities, right? In all communities, the people that commit the most crime in their community are typically of the same race and color. White people do the most crime to white people. Mexicans do the most crime to Mexicans. Blacks do the most to blacks, and then Asians, well, theirs is black to Asian. But regardless, when you look at the illegal immigrants, they're predominantly doing crime amongst each other. And they are, and yes, they're also committing crimes on us at the same time. But the undocumented, probably in their proximity, is other undocumented immigrants. And guess what? They're not going to be reporting any crimes because you can't commit a crime on somebody that's not a real citizen of the United States of America. So it's a completely straw man argument if I were to say so. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, bro. It's all just, for me, I feel like it's all just a big ass distraction. That's it.
From what?
It's really all from the shit that's, bro. We got a fucking
from the shit that's going on.
Yeah, come on.
We got a president house plant, dude. Yeah.
Yo, you go ahead, take it, Matt. You get it. I don't even really need a self-explanatory. The shit that we're being distracted.
It's resident house plant. It's who he is. I mean, the dude is a dipshit.
Well, I was just stating a question for the audience, Cash. Man, you're a Democrat today. You're in your feelings.
No, he's just rooting for Nikki Haley.
That's the last racist shit you're gonna say to me today.
Tricky Nikki? What do you think about Tricky Nikki, Cash?
What do you think about Nikki?
You want to vote for her, don't you?
I would like her more if she dropped out. No, definitely not.
When is she going to drop out? When is she going to drop out?
Trump all day.
You think?
March 5th.
She's never going to drop out until Super Tuesday. Tuesday.
Probably.
March 5th.
Why
you
is
think
she
she'll even after that? Because Trump won't have the 1,215 delegates he needs after Super Tuesday. There's not enough states yet. He'll be at 800-900, but he'll still need several more states.
But it'll be an apparent loss for her. There will be no path forward. She's gonna, after Super Tuesday, mark my words, she's gonna be like, I quit and I support Big Papa Trump. That's what's going to
No,
happen.
No
I do not.
way, no
I do
way.
not believe she will say those words.
I don't
I don't
either.
think she will.
Maybe Big
She's not
Papa
going to say
Trump, though.
Big
I like
Papa
that.
Trump, but she's going to give that endorsement because she still has
No.
hopes of doing something in 2028. She ain't done yet. She's going to do it. Everybody else has.
I don't think she
She's
will.
going to kiss the ring.
No.
She's going to kiss the ring.
She is
You
evil.
think?
She is evil.
Yeah.
I don't think she will.
Well, she
Not
said she
evil.
wasn't going to
She's
run
not.
either. I mean, remember, she was obviously the United Nations secretary under Trump, and she says, I'm not going to run if Trump runs, and here we are. So can we take her at anything that she says?
No, we can't.
Oh, no.
This is why I'm telling you. She's going to go from being against Trump to, okay, Trump is obviously the best for the party, and I endorse President Trump. I'm telling you, she's going to try to clear herself so she can have another run in 2028. I'll bet you any money she's going to endorse Trump. I'll bet you she does. And then everybody's going to be like, this
That's
bitch.
just where we
Watch.
disagree.
People are going to be like,
That's where we disagree.
all her whole base is going to be like, oh, this bitch. That's what's
She
gonna
has a
happen.
base. Have you seen any of the people
Yeah.
that follow her
There's
on
got a
Twitter?
couple.
Who are
Yes.
they?
Her base is a whole bunch of Democrats
Right.
that come in and join the Republicans for the primary to vote to make her numbers look better.
And the never Trumpers. So to answer this question, one of her supporters is going to stop funding, and they
30 million.
think she's. The thing is, she's going to keep getting pumped full of money because their whole purpose is not for Nikki to win. Their purpose is to continue to try to spend advertising to make Trump look bad in the general election. She will stay in as long as she possibly can without it looking completely. It already looks ridiculous, but even more ridiculous than it already does. And Kelly, to answer your question, this is why I continue to talk about why Texas is a purple state. It is not a purple state. If you look at the actual legal citizens, it is a red state through and through. But people keep looking at the damn swing states like Michigan, like, oh, look, we're going to start taking over. Meanwhile, we're not paying attention to a state that literally can undermine the whole election. And Texas has more undocumented illegal immigrants than anywhere else in the country. And if just a fraction of 20% of them find a way to illegally vote, which I'm sure the Democrats can find a way to make happen, Texas becomes a blue state for the presidential election. And we run into a whole bunch of shit in the whole country simply because Texas. Keep your eyes on Texas.
Well,
Matt, you live out here. What are your thoughts about that?
It's funny, though. I'll give you a caveat to that because you say that, Anthony, but Fort Worth, where I live, has been traditionally red. We live in Fort Worth because no one likes, when you're from Fort Worth, no one likes people in Dallas. In Dallas, seriously, you don't Dallas my Fort Worth, right? Kind of stuff. We don't go to Dallas because Fort Worth's supposed to be conservative. But the guy that was running the Dominion deal, the voting machines and whatnot, is now running Tarrant County and all of the voting systems there. And actually, Tarrant County, which is Fort Worth, went blue in 2020. It was 51-49 Democrat in Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
Which is wild.
We have to stop worrying about illegals voting. They're not voting. The part that you have to worry about illegals is your census data. Your census data does not care if you are an American citizen or here illegally. What does the census data tell us? It gives you your Congress seat.
Yes, that's what I'm about to say. Isn't that even how they repurpose districts, like refine districts? And that's what I think is really going on. That's why they're allowing everybody to come in so they can switch these districts up, like how they did in Georgia.
They also
did the same thing in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to tell you, man, there's some shit afoot.
So that is what is going on.
That's a T-shirt. There's some shit afoot. That's a T-shirt right there.
Boom, trademark. You heard it here first.
I don't see out of all of these illegal immigrants coming here, not millions are going to vote. I don't see that. But they will fill out census data if they're not forced to mark whether they're here illegally or as a U.S. citizen, which, by the way, Donald Trump did try to force on the 2020 census that he was trying to make that actually be an option on the census. And we don't have it. And so if they keep filling those things out, that is where they win.
Hey, before we move on, so has everybody seen the clip of Trump saying, and maybe Casey, if you can find it, where everybody on the left is jumping on, because I think what I like about doing on this show is dispelling some of the myths that come out from the left and giving it to everybody so they can have an argument and a discussion with people that oppose. So you can be like, well, this is actually the case. So Trump at CPAC called Melania Mercedes, which I don't based on looking at it. With
Mercedes was there. Mercedes was
Mercedes
there.
Slap. Right. Matt Schlapp's wife.
Jesus Christ.
And this
Casey and I were talking about this earlier today. You know, you got Joe Biden doing no interviews at all. This guy is out of his fucking mind.
None.
I mean, doesn't even know how to talk. So what does he do? He goes on to Seth Meyers at late at night. And that's the one line that he said in all of his garbage, gobbledygook, salad speak, was that Trump couldn't come up with his own wife's name. But that dude's getting a boner at 81 and sex keeps him young. Shut the fuck up. Your dick ain't getting hard. I mean, God, that drives me crazy. They're trying to make you think that Joe Biden's having sex. That dude ain't seen a boner in 20 years.
He has probably hunters on video.
Probably.
All right. So this is.
I was going to go darker than that.
Are you going to say Ashley?
Oh, geez.
No, I was going to go even darker than that, but we're not going to go there. I don't want to get us banned.
Oh, jeez.
So here's the clip.
Yeah, she's good. Call up my wife, our great first lady. She was a great for people. Love her. Yeah, people love her. Oh, look at that. Wow. Mercedes, that's pretty good.
Yeah. He's talking to Mercedes Schlapp.
He's looking
good.
Right. He's looking right at her. Because Mercedes and
President
Matt
Trump
Schlapp
has
put on
dementia
CPAC.
now President Trump has dementia now because he can't remember his wife's name. Meanwhile, Joe Biden falls asleep at the podium and shits himself. For entertainment purposes only, YouTube and Facebook. That is not an actual fact, but could be.
And again, this is it. So William Light, your favorite person, Cash. So he came on one of my daily motivational posts and just started blowing up about politics. And then one of the ones, he's like, your guy literally called his wife Mercedes. And I'm like, did you see the clip? He's like, I saw it. I'm like, how can you watch that and not realize it was crystal clear what he was saying? And you know what? Here's the thing. Even if he didn't know where Mercedes
watched it on CNN.
Right. It was edited. It was, they always say that when what the hell's his name now? I can't think of his daggone name that does all the undercover videos. O'Keefe.
Yeah,
they always say O'Keefe, doctors his videos. But that's what CNN does. But we're all a bunch of white Christian nationalists and extremists anyway. So what do we know?
Yeah, we all know the left always chops and cuts things up and accuses everybody else of things they do.
Right.
That is exactly what happened.
For me? I need to understand something. What the fuck is a white Christian nationalist? Is that like a white person who's a Christian that loves his country?
Good question. I mean, that's as good as definition as anything. I mean, you're right. Why do they keep saying that? Because they need derogatory language for people to feel a certain way on their network.
You know what's funny? You know what's really funny? I'm gonna tell you what's funny. I shared a video yesterday that it popped up on the Streetlights page that I shared back in fucking 2020. And I was talking about how this reverse racism shit was gonna start happening if Joe Biden got in office and how they're gonna switch narratives around and all this. And then they came up with the term white Christian nationalist. And that shit is hilarious to me because it's true. I was right.
White Christian nationalist has been a term since, I believe, the Holocaust. So that's how they referred to the Nazis, I believe.
How the hell is a Nazi a Christian nationalist?
No? Am I wrong about that? Because
they don't hail Jesus, dog. They hail Hitler.
Well, hey, but your rights only come from the government, fellas, not God. So that's why you're a Christian nationalist. Your rights are coming from your creator instead of the almighty government is doing everything for you, like killing you with vaccines and food and hormones. And I mean, I could get on a rant here for a minute, but
we're
there's
just going to say
estrogen in your
government right now.
Say it with me, everybody. Right now, I want all of you to say this with me. 2 + 2 = 5.
All right,
no,
Orwell.
I refuse. I refuse.
No kidding.
Animal Farm.
I'm seeing white Christian nationalism going back to all the way back to Columbus's time, but of course this is according to Time magazine. So I think that it's just the way that they have phrased anything that they could think of that's negative and colonizer based is what they're saying is kind of the ultimate thing.
We're not going to use the C word on here. All right. Oh, Christopher gets no play. Christopher gets no fucking play.
Whoa. Why?
Hey, because he was a pedo. That's why.
No.
Yes. He was a sex trafficker.
We need to do a show about this. We need to do a show about this.
You
read too much.
Thank you for selling the ocean blue in 1492, but fuck you for transporting little 9-year-old girls across the ocean and having your own little Epstein Island. Yeah, look at that.
Wow.
He's the first.
A gigolo?
No.
Oh.
I don't know what Cash is talking about.
Yeah. Hey, what are you puffing there, man?
What are you
look it up? It'll fuck you up. This is just
I already looked it up. Not true.
Just look it up. Look it up. He says it's on Google.
It's on Google.
No. It was an article that came out in the Washington Post.
Oh, you got an agreement from Amanda.
Compost?
No. I'll argue with anybody. There's a huge bashing campaign they started with Christopher Columbus first to see if they could get Americans on board to start destroying history. That is where it began.
Right.
And that is what they started to keep doing. And so if you actually go back and read a bunch of the books of the beginning, you will know they started with Christopher Columbus to see if they could get Americans to buy into it. And it worked.
Started what? Telling the whole story?
Lies.
Were you there?
Tell me lies. Tell me something.
Yeah, I was there.
This is the beautiful
I teleported.
thing. All of you people that are watching right now, this is the beautiful part of all of this, right?
You people, just because we all white.
Hey, I identify as black. Come on.
Okay, let's continue with Trump real quick.
Right.
So the New York argument, before we end, a couple things that I forgot to talk about. Remind me, we could circle back, Jen Psaki. We can circle back to, I forgot the soldier that killed himself with burning himself in flames. And let's just make sure we touch on that. Anyway, and the V word, the Smaxconation stuff from last week being disclosed in articles about the fact that it is actually potentially harmful. All right. So New York City, Trump, I want to keep talking about this because I think this is the biggest and best argument we have to talk about why Trump is being attacked. There is in no world that should have been deemed fraud in New York. What happened to him? What happened to him in that court case, which again, you've got the case in Georgia, Fani Willis, which is falling apart because of the impropriety and the fact that the prosecutor and her were hooking up and using state dollars in order to go on vacation. So it's all garbage. But the one in New York to me is blatant because nobody is able to answer the question of how you are coming up with $18 or $17 million from Mar-a-Lago. And also the fact that banks do their due diligence when they give money. So therefore, when they gave the money, they fully entered into the agreement to which he paid back with interest. So how is it that we can change the narrative to the buried in the sand lefties that look at this and go, it was fraud. It was fraud. It was fraud. What are your thoughts?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there was no fraud. The only fraud that took place was that fucking hearing, that trial. That was the fraud. And what's really, really crazy, right? Back to Fani Willis, is that they're not even talking about trying to throw the shit out. They're talking about trying to assign a different prosecutor. Normally, you'd be like, okay, fucking poisonous fruit, tainted tree, throw the whole shit away. We can't go forward with this because of this. And they're just dismissing it all the time. Well, we're just going to get another prosecutor and we're going to keep him on. We're going to fucking get this guy. You know what I'm saying? It's if everybody can't see what's really going on right now, bro, they're so terrified of Trump and what he's going to do when he gets back in office because they can't stop him. And I've seen another comment in there way back. It was saying that if he gets convicted, then Nikki wins. And that's not the case because as far as I know, if y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, there's nothing saying that if Trump gets convicted that he still can't run.
It's a fact.
So,
by the way, he can still run.
No matter what they do. Only thing this isn't about them trying to not make him run. They know he's going to run. This is why they're doing this, because he's running and he's winning. They are just trying to get people to stay focused on the bullshit and say, we're not going to vote for him. That's all they're doing. But it's not working. They put his fucking mugshot on a t-shirt. Nobody worried about these cases. So go ahead. Sorry, I digress.
And I liked Mr. Wonderful on CNN, if anybody saw that, because the woman on CNN made herself look like a fool. And she talked about, well, what just needs to happen. The reason why this is fraud is because it doesn't allow the little people to have a chance. I've got news for you. If you build big things and you are doing things that are in multi-million-dollar, $100 million, billion-dollar buildings, the little people aren't part of it. If you want a city or our country to completely stop growing and doing what America does, which is build tall buildings, skyscrapers, and change the world and do all these phenomenal things, you actually have to allow those that are in that echelons, that class, that have continued to, that have operated this way for decades. You have to allow them to do what works. And yes, low interest loans are the way that you build $100, $200, $500 million buildings. And you typically have to have a bank sign off, which he did, and to then pay back the loan, which he did. Where is the fraud? It's the exact same as the left talking about the movie 2000 Mules and saying, we've debunked it. How did you debunk it? It was just debunked. How is it? Give me a specific. So how is it fraud? Give me fraud. And fraud is the new 2024 version of the left's debunked, because they could just say fraud even when there is none. Like, well, he was found guilty of fraud. What fucking fraud?
Well, I'll tell you where the fraud is. Trump bought Mar-a-Lago for $18 million. Do you think that it lost value in the last 30 years?
Nope. That's the White House of the South.
Well, right. So, in the funny thing, it was supposed to be the White House of the South, which is fantastic, by the way. But the crazy thing is, a home in Florida just went on the market, which is 25,000 square foot. So it's a third of what Mar-a-Lago is, and it's on the market for almost $300 million. That a third. So if you really go by, I mean, look, as a realtor, and I'm not a realtor, but I've bought homes, and I think we all have dealt in real estate and whatnot. They do market comps to figure out prices. If you sell a home, what do you sell your home for? All that stuff. I mean, you have a 25,000 square foot home. Mar-a-Lago is 62,000 square foot. And they're selling that home for $300 million, and Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million. Come on. I mean, this is lawfare, right? This is lawfare. This is a judge with no jury. And I've got two rules on the Voice of the Working Man podcast. Don't ever go to a doctor who's woke, because you're going to get a shot. And don't ever find yourself in front of a jury of your peers in a blue city or state, because you're going to get fucked. This is a fucking of Donald Trump to take what? $500 million of his money. So guess what? He has a hard time running. He isn't cash flush. Guess what though, idiots? He just made $4 billion on Truth. $4 billion.
Right.
The dude makes money. You're not going to stop him because of money, but that's the left. They've got no other defense other than lying, and to get their sheep to go, well, we've got to vote against Donald Trump because it's for the greater good of the society and the world.
Well,
You
the
know
thing
what's
is
really
funny.
dope?
What?
You know what's really dope too, bro? Is my man Trump went into there after he got convicted, right? Or found guilty of the fraud, right? My man said, okay, I'm dropping a new sneaker, $3.99. Everyone, go and get my sneaker. And thank you very much. Thank you. And then guess what?
Okay.
6 hours later, sold out. You can't even get a pair now.
Well, it's
Anything
the
the man
brand.
does.
But it's the brand, Cash. You're right.
I
It's
already
the
know.
brand. Trump, people love him. Trump created something that the left fears. And he created this environment, this ecosystem of people who will literally walk over fire or broken glass to vote for him. It's crazy. He made MAGA. That's why he's destroying everybody else. The left knows they're not going to stop him. And I'm going to tell you what, RFK, I love the dude because he's going to take a lot of votes from Joe. Going to take a lot of votes from Joe. It's going to be huge. Huge.
Well, the thing that's also interesting about this entire case is they talked to Trump to figure out how much liquid cash he actually had. It's roughly $400 million. Do you find it coincidental that the dollar amount that they ended at in court is about what he has in cash?
Yeah.
Shocker.
What the
Well, there
hell?
was no jury, Casey. There was no jury. And this judge is now on ethics charges. I don't know if you saw it. He was banging the secretary of one of the lawyers in the last case. Come on. The guy's a scumbag. He's a hood rat.
The judge, by the way, if I were to describe the judge in the New York case, he just looks like a guy that just got done jerking off and got like caught walking out in the living room and there's a bunch of people there.
He was Jeffrey tubing it. He was tubing it.
It looked like he was tubing in it.
Tubing in it. I like it. That's a t-shirt too.
There's nothing wrong with banging the secretary. You just throw that out there.
Is she hot?
Based on his looks, probably not.
Probably not.
It's very clear.
He's got a Revolta Rivera kind of look, right? A Geraldo Rivera kind of look to him.
His hair.
Yeah.
Cash, I keep forgetting. I got to get you the mug with Trump's face on it. The mugshot.
No, he gets one on Friday. It's already sent to him.
Oh, all right.
Look at you, Casey. Look at you. All right, Casey. Everybody drop a like for Casey right now. Drop a like. Give us a like.
I dropped a like. I dropped it. There it was.
Somebody pick it up. We got two more topics before we wrap up. Again, after this show, we're going to be doing a private Zoom at 7:30 Central Time, so 8:30 Eastern. I put the job if you want to be in because the last time they had a all open call Zoom, unfortunately, Cash
had doing that shit again.
Gay porn in it, which was super awkward for everyone. Chuck, very accurate.
Mountain.
Yeah, I heard there was some dirty stuff that happened. So you just got to fill out the job form. Takes 2 seconds. So fill that out. Click on it. One other thing about Trump. I hate to, you guys know that I waver. I don't love Trump. I call myself MAGA. I'm not ultra MAGA. I know, Cash, where you stand. Matt, I know where you stand. I know Casey and I are a little bit more mid MAGA than anything else. But I feel like the more this is continuing and to see the continued lunacy of the left, I'm rolling back into the Trump train. I hate to say it, but I'm kind of Trump training it up right now. In my head, I'm like, F everybody, Trump all the way.
Well, but dude, can we just stay? Oh, go ahead, Cash.
I'm sorry, man. I got to say this. For all of you who have calmed down your MAGA, I just want you to know something. Give me the whole screen real quick, Russo, just for 2 seconds.
I gotcha.
For all of you people out there, you people that have calmed down your MAGA, right? I promise you this. As election season comes into full effect, you will be wearing your MAGA red again. I'm just going to throw it out there. And the reason why I say this is because all the bullshit's coming to the forefront again. It's going to get live, y'all. It's going to get live. And Russo's going to be rocking MAGA. Casey's going to be rocking MAGA. I don't care what he says. And it's going to be awesome. All right, so.
Well, you have to give Trump props. So, I mean, look, what Trump has done is he's recreated the Republican Party in his own party. I mean,
I was just going to correct you. It's not recreating Republican Party. It's its own party.
It's its own party, but he just refigured it right into what he is. So he's got 40 to 50% of the Republican Party baked in. And the dude went to Sneaker Con and sold $400 pair of gold sneakers. The dude's in the hood, and he's going to win that too. And it's brilliant, by the way. It's brilliant.
Before you get it back, that's an interesting point about the sneakers because of course the CNNs, MSNBCs were talking about how racist it is because he was doing a whole speech on how black people, they like the sneakers, they like me, yada yada. What they don't know because they don't pay attention is he was at SneakerCon. He wasn't at a rally.
No.
He was at a sneaker event, which is where he released these and where he talked about the fact that there is that urban community that really digs Trump, which is a fact. He's not just because you refer to black people liking you doesn't make you racist.
No.
Anyway,
did you hear what he said?
What did he say?
Confefe.
He said, stupid. He said, so all of you out there, I just want you to know, to all the blacks in America, we're the same. And I say that because I know what it's like. They're persecuting me, wrongfully convicting me, just how they've done you. For all of your time in America, I know you're innocent. You're innocent. Just like me. Buy my shit.
That's what he said. Actually, he said the black culture gets me because of how he did. He said the black culture gets me because I got more popular because I was on a mugshot. He said that, and they took that as racist. Casey,
that's not racist. He's relating.
I know.
I took that shit. I was like, "Fuck yeah, Trump! That's why we love you."
Black people don't watch CNN. All that did was take the white liberals and go, "Oh man, again, Trump is just, oh my god."
You forgot.
You know what he didn't do? You know what he didn't do? He didn't line up all the people in Congress and Senate and make them wear a fucking African slave catcher shawl and get down on one knee in solidarity. That's what he didn't do. He did the right thing and made a motherfucking shoe, baby. And I'm gonna get me a pair. As soon as they go down in price.
I love it.
Casey, why are you not on the Trump train yet?
I need him to actually drain the swamp, and the only way I see him doing it is if he has Vivek as VP.
So whoa, bold. So wait. I have questions, Casey.
Yes,
because I think he's going to drain the swamp. I think he's pissed. I like Vivek too, but what do you think Vivek will do as VP? Because they're kind of the same guy, dude, but he's younger. So is that a good move?
Yes.
Why?
It's a good move because Vivek is gaining ground because the entire time he's been saying, I can remove 75% of this government at the swipe of my pen because this law, all of this gives me the power to be able to do it. No politician does that. Everybody sells you the shit and says it's shiny.
Right.
Vivek is outlining the laws and the plan on exactly how he has the power to be able to do it. And stop with the Vivek is a plant. You guys are ignorant. But when it comes down to it, that is the only solution.
More stuff.
Casey, that was not cool. That was not cool. These are all loyal.
I'm so sick of hearing that.
And they are entitled to an opinion. If they want to call Vivek a motherfucking serpent, and they got the right to call him a snake.
Fair. Valid.
You want to hear some juicy tidbits, though, that I've been hearing through the grapevine over the last month or so? By the way,
that he's going to be the VP.
No. So the hubbub, the grapevine in DC is Trump's not going to pick Vivek as his running mate, but MAGA is going to continue in 28 with Donald Trump Jr. and Vivek.
Right.
He's going to be Junior's VP.
That would be horrible.
I think that'd be a hell of a ticket.
I've been saying I will vote for Junior before I vote for Trump.
I would vote for Junior.
Why?
I think he's more conservative than
why? Because Trump banned bump stocks.
That's true.
Trump banned gun accessories. Junior would not do that.
Well, you know what? If all the little angry white kids out there in the world would stop shooting up churches, we wouldn't have to be banning bump stocks. Okay?
Bump stocks.
We're going to call it out. Let's call it out.
But bump stocks are worthless, right? Have you ever used a bump stock? I mean, I agree with what you're saying, Casey. Nothing gun related. I mean, the Constitution says you can keep and bear arms. I mean, I would have gotten rid of things before a bump stock. A bump stock is...
Hold on. That's why he got rid of the bump stock.
Oh, don't be making excuses
you think
for Papa Trump.
For some other stuff. He didn't want to get rid of the other stuff, so he got rid of the bump stock.
He got rid of the most pointless gun accessory ever created.
It is pointless, by the way. The bump stock is pretty pointless.
I don't care.
More accurate. It just
if
makes
anybody
it all over the place.
If anybody thinks the Vegas shooter was using a bump stock, I've got a special bit of land to buy for you. It's right on the moon that we never went to.
Okay,
exactly.
We're going down Adam here in a minute. We're going through all the theories.
And Adam, sometime if you want to get on a call, I have information that nobody else has on that. Just so you know, my buddy's kid was in the room next door. We can go into a whole different world on that one if you want. Anyways, yay sports. All right. What is it? All right, real fast. Last bit of advertisement. Two things. TheDrArtistShow.com. Use BFD at checkout for 10%. We're not done yet. We are not done yet. Use 10% off. Use that. That's where I get a lot of my supplements. I've also started to do research on the brand the American brand Freedom Box that we talk about. They also have really good supplements as well. We're going to be doing the Zoom afterwards. Cash, we're going to ask you that question in a second. Last bit of info, the water. My favorite water on the planet, CenturyH2O.com. Use Russo10 for 10% off. It's underneath my sink right now. This is the water that I'm drinking. Comes right out of the tap. $300 after the 10% discount, and you don't need to replace the filters, and Brita is absolutely pointless. All right, moving on. SentryH2O.com. Use Russo10 at 10% for checkout. The job form to meet us in the Zoom later at 7:30 is in the comment box. Cash, who do you want as your VP?
Just before I tell them who I want for VP, you got to get you guys some of that water. It's so clear you can't even see it.
It's pretty good.
All right. Who would I want? Who would I want for VP? Honestly, if I'm gonna be real, RFK all day.
No,
I like RFK.
That is even worse than Trump.
My dude.
Jesus,
like
dude. I'm gonna flip this damn deck.
Think about this. That's not true. That is not true. Stop telling people lies. You can still run for president if you're a felon.
Tell me lies.
Really?
But I would never do it. I would never do it. Never. I don't want to be a politician. I despise politicians, and I wouldn't be good at it because I'd be telling everybody to get fucked, and I'd be beating people up inside of the Capitol. You know,
you'd just get shot, Cash. I mean, you would get people who really want to get shit done would just get shot.
They die.
Right.
There's the stat.
They would definitely shoot me, but I'd be ready for it because I have a goon squad.
Let me address this one real quick. So, Judy, apparently you haven't listened to any of my rants about Trump. There was a lot of them, and I have a lot of criticisms of Trump, which is why a lot of people hate me, but that's fine. I still think Trump did one of the greatest things in my lifetime as a president, and I just want to see true change, and I see Vivek was the option to do that. So if Vivek is the VP, that is where my vote will be going.
Man, vote Trump. Vote Trump. We need Trump in office for not just to save the country, but we got a lot of my homies that still locked up right now through January 6th, and we need them out. And he said he's going to pardon all of them if he gets in office. So we need him back in there for that especially. So bring home the J6ers, baby. Boom.
I agree with that.
Fantastic.
100%.
Bring it home. All right, we got just a couple minutes left. I want to really quick. I'm just gonna. What's more important? What's more timely? Let's go with the guy, the soldier, which I think they're saying that he might have been a part of the rainbow community, whatever. And then I saw Ian Wendt, who I respect, talk about the fact that people shouldn't be making fun of him. I agree, but I don't. I'm torn on the issue. So if you don't know what happened, there is an American soldier that did this whole Free Palestine stunt in front of the U.S. Embassy. He poured gasoline on him. He videoed himself walking up, and he took a couple tries to light himself on fire. I don't think he thought it was going to go quite like that. And he turned into a gigantic Olympic torch, best way to describe it. And he died a couple days later, which the weird part of the video is when the cops came up to him with the guns drawn. I'm like, I think at this point we should just be worrying about hosing him off. But anyways, people know what happened now. It's a mental health thing, and he was yelling "Free Palestine" while he was on fire. This is an American current serving soldier. The indoctrination runs deep, is all I can say. And I don't know. What are your? Because I think we all can have our opinions. What are your guys' opinions on Ian Wendt's concept that we should not be making fun of this, or not even making fun, but making light of this? What are your thoughts?
I'm fine with making light of it. I am not. Oh, Jesus.
I kind of thought that when I said it.
I just do not. I don't want to see people making fun of him. I got on CT, Chaotic Truths Live, a couple days ago talking about this, or a day ago, whatever it was. I don't like the fact that we're making fun of a soldier when we know 22 soldiers die of suicide every day.
More than that.
We know they have a lot of issues, and I don't think making fun of this situation is the right thing. And we need to be saying prayers for these guys. Now, on the situation on why he's saying Free Palestine, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. The reason why he was doing that, and this is why I make fun of the TikTok algorithm and the TikTok application, is what that application is pushing a lot, is a lot of Free Palestine and a lot of the stuff that in the United States that they do not want us to be believing in.
So real quick, thank you guys for not telling me that I apparently was on the wrong microphone and I've been sounding like crap the whole episode. So now I just fixed it. I'm glad it took till the very end.
And you don't have the best mic. Mine's an RE20, by the way. Rush Limbaugh used this mic. It's way better than that Shure mic, whoever that guy was on the comments.
I'm a Shure guy.
Hey,
I don't know.
can I give you some pushback real quick though, Casey?
Go ahead.
Because you love TikTok. I got it.
No, not the TikTok, right? I understand that you don't think people should make jokes about it, but that's some people's way of coping with tragic events. You know, dark humor.
agree.
No,
It's true.
that event that happened to that man is horrible, right? It is. It's a horrible thing. But, you know, people are entitled to deal with shit the way that they want to deal with it. Give you the pushback again on the whole, well, it's not really a pushback, it's just an opinion about the whole Free Palestine stuff going on, right? For all you Americans out there that are watching us, look, I like peace, right? I mean, I really like to fight, but I would rather have peace. But I need you to understand that the whole Israel-Palestine thing that's going on, though it is horrible, understand the necessity for us to have Israel. That's a strategic military position for the United States of America. We have to have that. All right. It's important for us as a country to have that piece of, you know, real estate over there for us. All right. Now, when we talk about Free Palestine, I'm not opposed to freeing Palestine, but you know, when I say free Palestine, I mean like let them go, because you can't cause chaos in a land that you've already lost. I hate to say it like that, but it's over. It's over. That'd be like, you know, the natives right now rising up over in America, and then are you guys going to be like, oh, free the natives, give them back their land? No, because it'll ruin your way of life. And this is as messed up as it is. I know it sounds bad, but this is society. This is the way that civilization works. We don't got to like it, but this is the way it is. He with the biggest stick rules the land. And right now, Israel got the bigger stick. Plain and simple. I don't agree with the death. I don't agree with innocent lives being taken. None of that. I don't agree with it. I'm totally against it. But we need Israel. That's all I'm saying.
And at the end of the day, they've been fighting forever. It's their own thing, and it's not a genocide. People that think that are misinformed. And yeah, I would free Palestine from Hamas. Once you free it from Hamas, I bet Israel would say, go move along. Because once all these different Hezbollah, Hamas, all these different things, it is a holy war that we should have nothing to do with except for just maintaining our relationship with Israel, because that is incredibly important to the rest of the Middle East, and our sovereignty as a country depends on some stability in that region in the country. Or in the world.
Fact. It is kind of a genocide. Just want to push back on that. It is kind of a genocide.
How is that?
Kind of.
By who? Who's committing the genocide?
Both. They've been doing it. They've been genociding the hell out of each other. It's just, you know,
that's called war.
Israel just happens to be better at it.
Well, no, that's called war. They're winning a war.
It's not genocide.
It's not
using
genocide.
The wrong word. But it is war.
I think the use of that word is what's causing somebody like this soldier who, to me, I think we can't normalize mental health issues. And, you know, I'm not going to make fun of them, but I'm also not going to shy away from a pun here and there, because holy shit, that was just the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. But at the same time, that indoctrination that it's a genocide is just wrong. That would be like saying, there's no comparison, but like what was happening in Nazi Germany was a genocide. There was no fight. They were brainwashing their people into thinking that they weren't doing anything wrong, taking millions of Jews and putting them in concentration camps for slavery, and then putting them in gas chambers. That wasn't them fighting back and forth. And I'll tell you, there was no Jews during the Holocaust that flew on paragliders and killed 700 people. And we could disagree about the fact that Israel knew about it, because I do think they probably knew about it. I think I don't believe in any governments not knowing, and I do think that all governments are corrupt. But to actually think that just one side beating the shit out of the other side in a war because they have a more sophisticated military and they're stronger, the fact that that's being called genocide. Now, crimes against humanity, we could talk about that. There's children being killed.
That's a better one. That's a better one. Not a genocide.
That might be a better.
There are definite crimes against humanity.
But genocide is so genocide is the wrong term. Is the only thing I can say.
You're right. You're right. I apologize for my misspeaking.
Misnomer.
No.
Oh, good.
Don't do it again.
Don't do it again, Cash. Otherwise, like Joe.
I'm
Otherwise,
so
like Joe
sorry,
Biden's
guys.
gonna, I'll put you back in chains. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
Oh,
so
That
did Joe
you know
Biden.
what?
quickly.
You know what? That right there, that is the existential crisis in this country. That white supremacy view that you spew out of your mouth. And that was a poem.
All right, let's
Poet.
wrap this shit up.
He's
I'm just gonna say it as my closing statement. The one thing I didn't bring up was the whole study that came out with 100 million people regarding the COVID smexcination, showing that there was an increase in perio-myocard, all the different itises, plus Guillain-Barré syndrome, plus higher level of strokes, all of that. But then in the art, this is the key to that. We already knew these things, but the key to it was the fact that at the bottom of the article, it said researchers, however, did say it was a minor amount that should not change the fact that the actual taking of the V word is better than not. Read one paragraph lower than that, and it says we have to also disclose that the researchers who wrote this article were paid by GlaxoSmithKline. I believe Pfizer was one of them. Moderna was another one. And it went through the list of the pharmaceutical companies that funded all the researchers. For those that, whatever. That's all I got. All right, that's my final words. Who wants to actually wrap it up? Matt, you're the guest, and then Cash, you'll take us home. Matt, give us a go.
well, you should go listen to the Voice of the Working Man podcast, VOTWM.com. I had a gentleman on there today by the name of Dr. Jim Thorpe who talked about what you just talked about. And 85% of Congress got kickbacks from Pfizer, Moderna. It's all proven. And 17 million people died, and 585 million people were injured because of the vaccine. And he has facts to back it up. He's one of the smartest guys that I know.
Allegedly.
We had his whole
the
report
VAERS
circulating
system,
in DCDOC.
they shut the VAERS system down, so we don't know exactly. But there a lot of people got hurt. Anyway, go listen to the podcast. I'm full of crap. It's a good time.
It's a really good time listening.
I got a lot of stuff in this brain. It's good.
It is pretty good. And then Cash will take us home. I did forget to mention one thing. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m., my interview with JP Sears will be out on Truth Will Set You Free. So that interview with JP Sears is a lot of fun, hour-long interview. Make sure you catch that. And I just found out that I guess he's getting a divorce that just came out. I didn't even see it came out like yesterday or whatever. But anyways, make sure you watch that. Cash, take us home.
Congratulations on the divorce. I don't know if it was a good marriage or not, but I'm assuming your wife's going to be happy. Just kidding. All right.
Cash, also remind people to join us on a light.
Fight.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
sorry. I just want to remind everybody.
Question. We'll answer William's question. He wasn't even there. We'll answer your question another time, Trolley McTrollerson. But yeah,
William,
before you do the Unite Don't Fight,
bro.
tell people to meet us on the Zoom.
Okay, everybody, if you're listening right now, meet us on the Zoom. Is that good?
By filling out the job form. You're funny tonight, Cash. I can tell you had a rough
filling
day.
out the job form.
I can tell you had a rough day.
Fill out the job form and join us tonight on our live Zoom. I'll be there with my charmingness. Is that a word? It is now. Unite. Yep. Don't fight. Be a street light. Because only you could be the change that you wish to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, you got to remember to pray, America, because without God, everything falls apart.
Amen.
Woo!
Yes, brother.
God, you're weird.
Don't you find it?
Hey, who wants to go to wager at Russo will be late next week?
I'm
not
pregnant.
I'm in on that. I'm on that.
He's been on time. He's been on time.
I'm not pregnant.
You got to give him that.
I'll be in Houston next week, by the way. So
you will be.
Your
pregnant.
mustache looks like it's pregnant with baby caterpillars.
Oh, I love that stash is the bomb, by the way. Don't let him. That's porn-tastic.
What are you doing right now?
People are getting some bonuses right now. Some bonus jokes.
Right meow? They're getting bonuses right meow?
They're getting
bonus or boners.
Well, we're not talking about Joe Biden.
Oh God.
Give one dad joke before I hit the end stream, Cash.
Oh God.
All right.
Please don't.
What did the pirate say to the mustache? Russo, shave that shit.